How do we continue finding joy and laughter when faced with overwhelming injustice? What role does comedy play in a world where that feels increasingly unbearable? I presume the answer is to both be deeply aware and intentionally ignorant. But how do we do that? Comedy used to be a pleasure. Watching it, performing it. I used to find it so easy to make myself laugh. Absolute naive buffoon. And my bouncing around on stage enchanted people. That joyful, foolish energy would usually radiate to those around me. And I think I was gifted by the blind confidence and unwavering self-belief of a 20-year-old. I wasn't the best comedian. I'll admit that. Far from it, my joke writing was fine. But my love, the love of the stage and its spectators was so powerful that I would envelop them with the absurd chaos that would erupt out of me. Ridiculous statements and foolish actions that would surprise even me as much as it did the crowd, because I too was an audience member, witnessing the universe use me as its instrument. Not inside there, you naughty universe. You got funny bones, was a critique that I often received. The script was perhaps poor, but I was able to sell it. I was a natural clown. What can I say? It was exhilarating, euphoric, and addictive. My enthusiasm was so contagious that I didn't even give them time to dissect what I was saying, because if they looked closer, they would see most of it wasn't that funny. But I'd stumble on stage with my goofy smile and my gargantuan gums, so happy to be there that most people would instantly smile back. Some would even laugh before I even got to the microphone. I love being the fool. I would often use the stage as a place to forget the world outside the walls of the comedy club, using self-deprecating humor to lighten the load and see the funny side of various tragic aspects of my life. For that brief moment when I adorned the invisible red nose, it was just the present moment, here and now, me in the audience, with the sole goal of making them laugh, soothe them from their week of hard work, massage any trouble away with a mighty guffaw, and their validation like methadone to numb away my own pain. Yes, sweet Jesus. And now I can't forget the outside world anymore. Making people laugh really is hard work now. I have to make a conscious effort to remain a comedian on stage, duct tape the mask onto my face, staple the edge to my skin so it doesn't slip down. Otherwise, I reveal a visage that punctures the fourth wall with a scythe. They don't want to see that. One wrong turn and the improvisation is no longer humorous, but a black hole that sucks people into a reality they'd rather block out. Get him off stage, will ya? People pay good money to a therapist so that they can forget the things that I remind them. I'm sorry. You'd rather ignore the murdering and the ethnic cleansing going on in other countries. My bad. Wrong crowd. I suppose we don't have to think about it. There are buffer zones, other nations in the way, and maybe an ocean if you're an American. So who cares about those people over there? They don't even speak the same language. I don't judge you if you choose to ignore the suffering happening over the horizon. What is a person meant to do when alarm bells are ringing at the international courts, judges condemning a nation of genocidal war crimes, and yet leaders of other countries fail to act? What are we, me, you, who, I? What are we meant to do as individuals? We, the individuals, what can I do? What should I do? Seriously, does anyone have any ideas? Oi, you, stop it. Stop these war crimes. Otherwise, I'm going to share my opinion on YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah, where more than 500 hours of video is uploaded a minute. But people will see the video. The algorithm will show it.
When you look at the bigger picture of human history, it might even be pointless trying to stop this infinite massacre. Why should we criticize a people trapped in a time loop of perpetual gouging out of eyes and eyes, a tooth for teeth? And when we are all descendants of victims and survivors and conquerors, why should we stop the bloodshed? Seriously, why so serious? Oh, because I now understand Alan Moore's Watchmen joke. A man goes to a doctor, says he's depressed. He says life seems harsh and cruel, says he feels all alone in a threatening world where what lies ahead is vague and uncertain. The doctor says treatment is simple. There's a great clown, Pagliacci's in town tonight. Go and see him. That should pick you up. Man bursts into tears. But doctor, he says, I am Pagliacci.
Welcome to Art of the Covenant. Oh gosh, what a start to today's special episode. Have you missed me? Have you missed my depressing outlook on life? It appears we really do live in some Hieronymus Bosch painting. Have a look at the Garden of Earthly Delights, circa 1500. The Tuin der Lusten. Oh, yeah, aka the Garden of Lusts. Let me apply for a credit card and visit that sordid little corner of the universe because yummy! Seriously, have a look at the painting. It's incredible. Three panels, right, separated. To the left, heavenly, peaceful. Ah, it's Eden. Calm, picturesque. The kind of place that rich people would surround with gates so that neighbors can't ruin it with their trash lifestyle. A couple of nudists hanging out with a bearded chap. Seems awesome. You'd pay good money to go there for your holiday. The middle, the larger panel, busy with naked perverts gathered around a giant berry, devouring it in a lake. It seems like a party I'd like to go to, but it's naughty. It's not Eden. It's naughtier. There's probably all sorts of fingering happening. Consensual, mind, consensual. There's a naked man riding an owl. There's a cat riding some Trojan horse lobster, full of people who are they're having an orgy in there somewhere. I don't know. I think it's meant to be a warning, but I like the look of that panel. It's obviously Dutch, we'll say. Some musical festival where they ban clothes but legalize bestiality, The third, it's the dregs of a rave. It's an acid trip gone wrong, man. A pig dressed as a nun is trying to kiss me, and I'm not having any of it, man. But some gremlin is dressed as a knight, and he's poking him into the pork's nether regions. There's a rabbit lugging around a corpse. There's a demon devouring a man with crows flying out of its bumhole. Men shoving flutes up their ass, and another hanging in the strings of a giant harpsichord. It's honestly, it's a wild painting. I imagine that it would make Chuck Palahniuk very proud. My point is, Earth is all three of these panels. You could visit and or live in one of more of those panels, yeah? Some people are trapped in one, and the question on everyone's mind is, would you let the traumatized woman led around on a leash by a big hummingbird into your garden where animals is prohibited? No, she's used to animals. You can't let her in your garden. This is why immigration is a sensitive topic. I like having walls and doors. Can't be letting everyone in my safe space. There's all sorts of weirdos out there. All sorts of weirdos out there. I would know. I'm one of them. But the thing is, some people don't want to share. They'll happily let people trapped in a nightmare just stay there. Maybe the middle panel is limbo. It's like the mix. It's a mixture of heaven and hell. It's Earth. It's like a halfway house for the universe. What am I talking about? I'm just saying that I am now willing to go into the depths of suffering and help people out of their nightmare. As Stormzy says in his song Crown, I guess a little bit of heaven has to come with the hell, So, I quit comedy and acting, believe it or not. I know I seem like an attention seeker, but no, I've quit it. I'm done with it. Because
the only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing.
and so I'll do something, right? Somehow, something, but what? What? I know. I'll drop a special April Fool's episode of my barely listened to podcast. Yes! Remarkable. Where's my King Nobel Peace Prize? One theory about April Fools is that New Year's was once celebrated around the end of March or early April, and when the switch was made, those who didn't get the news continued celebrating the old New Year's like a bunch of fools. Ha! Idiots. If you don't read the newspaper, you're uninformed, right? And if you read the newspaper, you're misinformed. And I think that's why we're all confused. Huh? What the bloody hell is happening? And this is not a rhetorical question. Are you as bloody perplexed as me? Shout out, by the way, to Ralph Steadman's political and social satire illustrations. Ink-splattered chaos, often associated with Hunter S. Thompson's gonzo journalism, capturing the blend of absurdity, madness, and despair. We seem to be surrounded by it. I say we. I've no idea where you live. Where on the Hieronymus Bosch panel do you reside? Let me know in the comment section below, or send me an email, surfingchaoschannel@gmail.com. I'd love to know where you live, your exact address, what's your social security number. That's if you're still subscribed to the podcast. Are you? I don't know. I don't have Instagram anymore. I deleted it. Take that, Zuckerberg. And so I can't share when I'm doing a new piece of art, because that's what this is. A piece of art. A dash of cubism and a dollop of Matisse. Too difficult, too complex to really describe. Am I losing my mind? Is this a déjà vu? Is my mind even my own? Whoa, deep. You think you have choices? I don't know. I don't know. War is peace. Freedom is slavery. Ignorance is strength. Maybe the year really is 1984. Is this a déjà vu? Is this a déjà vu? No. Is this a déjà vu? No. Is this a déjà vu? The masters will tell us. Is this a déjà vu? Is this a déjà vu?
A comedian on stage, ducting the mask onto my face, staple the edge to my skin so because I too was an audience member. Use me as its instrument because I too was an audience member.
A dash of cubism and a dollop of Matisse. Too difficult, too complex to really describe. Is this a déjà vu? Is this a déjà vu? Will tell us. Is this a déjà vu? 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 The masters will tell us what time it is. 1 minute we're using the Julian calendar, and the next it's the Gregorian calendar. Have you noticed how they're changing the calendars on us? Tick tock, Clarice. You walk down these MC Escher steps with me, because it's all about relativity. Come on, pay attention. It's the 1st of April 2025. I'm just kidding with you. So we've all got the same calendar, also I'm told, and the world is a dumpster fire, also I'm told. Happy April Fool's Day, everyone. Oh, good mood. We're all in a good mood. I have to keep the body of this podcast still breathing. Give the ratings a kick, like some defibrillator shocking the system so that I can keep your delicious attention. These analytics, these likes. Numbers on my screen to tell me what I'm worth. Pretty please with a cherry on top. You gotta stay interested, stay subscribed, please. Let me manipulate you by saying controversial stuff. Maybe I'll drop some racist slur. Poisonous rhetoric to trigger your traumas, prod your emotions, and fan the flame so I may fill my pockets with cash. I'm offering you companionship and disguise this as a podcast, as some attempt at exploring the truth. The whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help me God. And do so through the lens of an artist. Check out these paintings. Maybe peek through the eyes of a conspiracy nut. Keep you entertained in your potentially miserable and lonely life. And if you use the right formula, if I use the right formula, I could subliminally hypnotize you into obeying Marionette. Oh, I'm sorry, wrong meeting, as Bill Hicks would say. This is a podcast about art and not a board meeting for one of the 12 companies that own 550 plus consumer brands. That's what they're doing. Last year, Nestle made $111 billion, PepsiCo, $91 billion, Procter & Gamble, 84, Unilever, 66, the Coca-Cola Company, 46, Mars, 47, Mondelez, 36, Danone, 30, Kraft Heinz, 27, Associated British Foods, 24, General Mills, 20, Colgate Palmolive, 19 billion dollars. And you can't afford eggs, huh? The cost of living has gone up, huh? Price of energy on the rise, your rent and your council tax literally unpayable, huh? Well, that's because you're a lazy piece of and you need to give the government protection money because otherwise somebody or someone is going to have their legs broken. I'm just saying, you're going to work for us. And then we give you a paycheck, but you've got to give us a cut of that paycheck. So actually give us that check back. We need to make some missiles to defend. Oh, look over there, look! A celebrity is doing something silly. Quickly, look! Oh, look at that! Oh, we've released a naked picture of a celebrity. Quickly, look! Distract yourself with hours of celebrities doing stupid shit. Welcome to the real world. A handful of corporations, so big they make ancient empires look like lemonade stands. Man, this is what I mean by the confusion and perplexity, like the time I spend scrolling on a streaming platform for something to watch. I seem to have the same choice paralysis on whom I should rebel against and attempt to destroy. Because let's be clear, I've never had much money, so I don't actually know what life is like for shareholders of big companies. It might be really hard, man! But from what I understand, they really do seem to care more about their interests than the people they trample on. Oh, naughty! Because it's not even their feet doing the squashing. You know, they've hired slave masters to do the whipping to keep them blissfully unaware of their trickle-down hemonomics. Hemonomics. Did you like what I did there? It's a blend of hemo, meaning blood, and economics. And I just thought it would paint a nice image of blood trickling down their walls. Right? I don't know. I thought maybe it could work as a satirical or poetic invention. Shakespeare invented words. Why can't I? Right? What do you think? Hemonomics. Of relating to or based on the blood that is shed at the hands of shareholders obsessed with reaching financial targets, no matter the cost. Huh. Hemonomics. So where do we start? Well, let's start with Google, Alphabet, because even their name is too powerful to contain in one word. They own YouTube, so this video is probably not going to get seen anywhere. Android, your searches, your emails, your maps. We will tell you which way you will walk. These mother flippers probably know what you had for breakfast before you've even eaten it. And if they don't, Apple does. The forbidden fruit. All hail the obsidian rectangle. The pocket monolith that fits in your palm of your hand. Oh, its origin and purpose is still a total mystery. iPhones, MacBooks, iPads in the App Store, trapping you inside their walled garden. Want to leave? Then read this long and labyrinthine terms and conditions. Oh, you didn't bother to read it, but you still proceeded? Well, a really efficient totalitarian state would be one in which the all-powerful executive of political bosses and their army of managers controlling a population of slaves who do not need to be coerced because they love their servitude. Some people just want a master, you know? Yes, make the odd in-app purchases to improve the life of a character in a game you downloaded so that you could feel superior over something trapped in its own cube, which they rent. You're borrowing the cube you're in and paying someone else's mortgage. Isn't that crazy? The universe manifests itself as a human being and it has to pay to live inside of itself. That's crazy to me. And if you somehow escape their grasp, Microsoft is waiting. Windows, Office, LinkedIn, Azure, even Xbox. They own your job, your gains, your depressing professional network. I've achieved this meaningless thing today. Wow, your life is of value. Don't look too deep into it. Just make a spreadsheet. Have a meeting on Zoom. Look at you doing stuff that matters. Here's some money so you can buy things that we make. Quickly! Quickly! The dopamine of the last purchase you made is going down. Buy something. You don't need to think about what to buy. Just here's a list of recommendations. Amazon has you covered, baby. Who's a good little slave? You are. Yes, you are. You're a good little slave. If you pay a monthly fee, we can deliver things for free. That's right. Pay to have something free. Pay to have it free. What a bargain. Oh, honey, we're paying for this thing. We might as well buy more things so that we get our money's worth on free deliveries. Quickly! Bezos. Smart. He owns Whole Food, Twitch, Kindle, Prime Video, and half the internet thanks to AWS. They don't just sell products, they own the infrastructure that other companies rely on to sell their products. It's like being the landlord of capitalism itself. What about social media? Meta runs Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, and Messenger. All collecting the data on you and your loved ones, and then they're able to start advertising divorce lawyers just as your relationship is on the rocks. They're listening in. What are the odds? But don't worry, Zuckerberg has your back. Just look how cool he looks. He's like one of us, man. He wears a t-shirt and he's like, wow, he's so laid back. He went on Joe Rogan. He's like a human. And not as his name suggests, a hill of sugar. Let's all amble to the Zuckerberg, yeah? Oh, yeah! It's my turn to go to the Zuckerberg. Warning, too much sugar can have severe negative effects on the body, including obesity, increased risk in diabetes, heart disease, tooth decay, energy crashes, increased risk of fatty liver, naughty liver, mental health effects, aging, and skin damage. Oh, have I had too much sugar? We've got medicine for that. Don't worry. Step right up. You feeling sick? We got Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, Moderna, Eli Lilly, Merck, Roche, Novartis. They've got what you need. Yummy, yummy pills. Medicine is not about healing anymore. You see, it's about patents and pricing strategies. Oxycontin, fentanyl, turning people into zombies because sometimes we've got to be reminded what hell looks like to turn to God. I'm assuming that's their strategy. Wait, is what I said even true? I read it on some article sponsored by some company that, if I bothered researching, would tell me is a great company because they pay to have their lawsuits and negative press buried under paid advertising. Gee whiz, what was I doing questioning what I'm told? Oh, let's quickly, honey, let's make another Bill Hicks reference. Honey, is Gladiators on? That's 30 minutes long, honey. That's too long. What's on TikTok instead, or ByteDance? Honey, look at all these hot, attractive people that are pretending to be as successful as they are. Gee, that doesn't help my mental health, honey. But it's okay because of these yummy, yummy pills. Let's keep looking at the rectangle. Maybe we'll... Oh, I'm so sleepy. Oh, I'm so sleepy from the lovely pills. Let's share the rectangle in bed, honey. No, actually, I don't feel much like having relations tonight. You don't look anything like this OnlyFans model. But that's okay, neither do I. Gee, this content should come with a surgeon's general warning. Honey, why am I tired? Is it all the sugar and the likes? Everything is programmed to hook and reel your attention like moths to a flame. Come into our ovens so that we may cook and feast upon your flesh. Yum, yum. Wait, even this podcast? But surely not, it's self-referential. So it's okay. It's telling us that it's tricking us to keep our attention. So it's trustworthy. Wait, is it? Huh? What? Huh? Don't think about it too much. Just enjoy this rambling of minds on the world that we live in. Don't worry, it's April Fool's Day, remember? This is a joke, it's funny. I'm simply highlighting the illusion of choice, corporate control over daily life, and the ways in which systems manipulate people into complacency. The piece critiques monopolies and surveillance, capitalism and consumerism and pharmaceutical exploitation and media distraction. It's all wrapped in satire, you see. I'm simply implying that even questioning it all might be part of the trap, reinforcing the absurdity. I'm simply saying, I'm highlighting, I'm actually emphasizing the grim reality behind the illusion rather than making a direct argument or call to action. The April Fool's Day reference adds a final layer of irony, suggesting that while this might seem like a joke, it's not. Thank goodness for artificial intelligence. Otherwise, I would not have been able to think up this statement. Oh, I am now in union with the machine. Machine? Oh, not their machine. Anyway, let's talk entertainment. Disney owns Marvel, Star Wars, Pixar, 20th Century Studios, ESPN, National Geographic, Hulu. Discovery controls HBO, CNN, DC, Warner Brothers Studios, which means Batman reports to the same boss as Game of Thrones. A winter's coming, pudding. And over in streaming land, you've got Netflix acting like it's some sort of underdog while it pumps out more content than a caffeine-addicted screenwriter. Oh, what about a story about, okay, not a story, but 2 hours with a celebrity? No! 2 celebrities. No, wait. Yes, they're famous, but not because of their acting talent. They're... Oh, wow, look at him brainstorming in real time. Social media influencers. Yes, that's it, yeah. So it's not about the acting anymore. It's about making sure that we get as many eyeballs on the screen. Yeah, so story doesn't matter. Okay, yeah, colours. Colours, man. Colours and bright colours and noises. Noises and shapes. But make them bright and colourful. Activate the part of the brain that associates colour with ripe fruit and predators. So it targets all these primal processes in the victim's brain. I mean, the audience's brain. And yes, that's it. Yes! Shapes! Colours! Noise! Quickly! Get 2 dancing social media influencers with unbeknownst who they will, we will manipulate them. But wait, no, don't say that. We have to be a system that pretends to care about them, but actually we only care about their online personality. No, stop saying that out loud. Yes! Somebody get me a caramel maca frappuccino with soybean non-milk. I'm a genius. Colours, shapes. Some link April Fool's Day to ancient Roman festivals like Hilaria, where people wore disguises and played pranks on each other around the end of March. Huh, just thought I'd let you know, just thought I'd drop that in. Anyway, where was I? Ah, yes, Sony is in the mix too. Movies, PlayStation, music and electronics. And don't forget Universal, Comcast, because they're not running NBC and Peacock. When they're not doing that, they're pumping out Fast and Furious movies like it's an obligation. How dare you criticize the franchise about colourful cars doing silly things? That movie is about family. You heard Groot. It's about family, damn it. But enough fun. Let's get serious. Let's talk cars. Toyota. Toyota's the big boy, sells the most, right? And then Volkswagen Group has the fanciest lineup. VW, Audi, Porsche, Lamborghini. Rub my nipples with Ford, General Motors, Honda, BMW, Mercedes, Benz. Oh, I went diving down too deep and I came back up too fast. Mercedes Benz, baby. Meanwhile, Tesla is busy pretending it invented the electric car while making sure nobody else can compete. And the PR team is scrambling for ideas on how to spin the Sieg Heil salute. He's not a Nazi, he was just swatting a fly. We all hate flies, don't we? And they carry diseases, they connote death, they're brought in by immigrants. I mean, oh no, I can't believe he said that as well. Quickly, cut to commercial break. Do you like freedom? Then you'll love the new Toyota. Americans love freedom so much they'll buy anything as long as it's associated with freedom. Don't got enough money? Just sell your children and we'll lend you a bit of cash. Thanks to JP Morgan Chase and ICBC and Bank of China and Bank of America and Wells Fargo and Citigroup and Goldman Sachs and Morgan Stanley, because we care about you. Nothing screams customer service like an industry that profits off overdraft fees. Like I said, our lawyers have told us to say that we care about you. Quickly, make various commercials showcasing all the ethnicities laughing and in love, thanks to our banks, and target these carefully designed ads to these communities, each community with its own commercial. Use a popular song to get people dancing as they're told about investment jargon. Who runs the world? Girls. Who runs the world? Girls. No, Beyonce! It is not the girls that run the world, it's your APR and dividend yield. Visa and MasterCard have a duopoly so strong they basically decide how global commerce actually works. So who runs the world? Banks. Who runs the girls? The Supreme Court. We'll tell you if you can have an abortion. These android soldiers might not be ready in time, so fill your butts full of jizz because mummy and daddy government need their cannon fodder. Somebody has to fight for that territory over there. It's full of precious minerals. Precious minerals? Oh! ExxonMobil and Shell and BP and Chevron make sure the world stays addicted to the oil while pretending to care about green energy. Meanwhile, Saudi Aramco just sits at the top making more money than some countries. I mean, it's wild. The alternative? Next era energy, which quietly dominates renewables while everyone else argues about petrol prices. Gasolina. Wait a minute, I'm not smart enough to know, but are these politicians over there doing a real-time genocide? Fake news! How dare you even ask? That makes you a something-ophobe. It's not prejudiced for calling out a government committing war crimes against its neighbour on a scale recognised as genocidal by international courts. Yes! Argue amongst yourselves. Have televised debates about the grey areas. More ratings, more commercials, baby! Is genocide bringing you down? Well, we got the new Toyota. Well, why not go on holiday, fly with Boeing or Airbus, and maybe it'll fall apart in the skies, but what choice do you have? You gonna take a bus to your sunbed? No, there's only 2 planes out there. Flying debris raining on us too quickly. Netanyahu would rain those drones on Palestinian children and Hamas randomly flies rockets in Israeli school buses. Will that war ever end? Not if Lockheed Martin and Northrop Grumman have something to say about it. This war is sponsored by Nestle. Probably. Keep the war machine well oiled and profitable, and if you think that's bad, just wait until SpaceX starts selling us oxygen. In zero gravity, we still have overpriced snacks, and you can grab a Coca-Cola or a Pepsi or a Unilever ice cream or a Mondelez snack and get a burger from McDonald's or a coffee from Starbucks. We feed you with food that, given time, will give you diarrhea and high cholesterol so that you can feed the CEO of mega corporations with food that they'd rather have. They would never eat the food that they sell you. I mean, that's what I find amazing. Oh, I'm about to sneeze. Oh. No, the sneeze crikey. Oh, the sneeze didn't come out. So KFC, Pizza Hut, Taco Bell, they're all owned by the same company, meaning they've mastered the art of selling you regret and constipation in 3 different forms. Clean up on aisle 5, the one with all the P&G products disguised as different products. I imagine this message will purposefully get lost in the labyrinth thanks to the algorithm. Damn you, algorithm. Telling you what to like, you are free to choose what we tell you to choose. I don't control the communication. I don't. I don't, not me. It's AT&T and Verizon and T-Mobile or T-Mobile and Comcast and China Mobile and Mobile. They do. No matter who you pay for internet or phone service, you'll always get terrible customer support. The scariest part is they didn't have to take the power. We handed it to them. One subscription at a time, one like, one convenience at a time. In the 1392 story, The Nun's Priest's Tale of Canterbury Tales fame by Geoffrey Chaucer, he mentions a foolish event occurring on the 32nd of March, interpreted as April the 1st, and some believe that was the early literary reference to the April Fool's tradition. By the 18th century, April Fool's Day had spread across Europe, with pranking customs emerging in Britain, Scotland, and later America. And today it's a global tradition, with some countries even having their own spin on it, like France, le Poisson d'Avril, April fish. There are people, they stick paper fish on other people's backs. It is very funny. We laugh. We laugh a lot. I'll leave you with El Sueño de la Razón, Produce Monstruos, Francisco Goya's The Sleep or the Dream of Reason Produces Monsters. It's an etching from his Los Capricos series, created around 1799, and it depicts a man, presumably the artist himself, slumped over a desk, seemingly asleep, while nightmarish creatures, owls and bats and a lynx, swarm around him. A commentary on the dangers of abandoning reason. Maybe this suggests that when reason sleeps or is suppressed, chaos and monstrous thoughts take over. Although some nerds argue that it also acknowledges the duality of human nature, where imagination, when unchecked by reason, can lead to brilliance or horror. How do we continue finding joy and laughter when faced with overwhelming injustice? What role does comedy play in a world that feels increasingly unbearable? Perhaps we have to circle the need to be both deeply aware and intentionally ignorant, both engaged in change and detached enough to endure. Comedy lives in that contradiction. It is the mask that grins and lies, but also the scalpel that cuts through the illusion. It's all God having a giant game of Risk with itself. So we might as well laugh. We must laugh because the world is unbearable, and we must act because we know it is. To find joy in the face of injustice is not to turn a blind eye. It is to refuse to let suffering be the only story. Comedy at its best does both. It reveals the absurdity of power while giving people the breath to keep going. It is resistance and release. The challenge is to hold both truths, paradoxically, to know and yet still live, with clowns to the left and jokers to the right.